Hey, everybody, it's PJ Rosch and Christine Smith from The Little Red Dog, and this is our podcast for the Love of Dog update. We're going to be doing weekly updates just to kind of keep you guys in the loop. And so today we're going to talk about a few things. One is something urgent, which I'm going to let Christine talk about.
So our urgent plea this week, we have a dog, Charlotte. You may have seen her on social media. She is currently with a foster, but she's going to be losing that foster at the beginning part of May. So she does need a new foster. She is a very sweet dog. The only caveat with her is that she does need to be the only dog in the house. She loves her walks. She loves snuggling. She loves watching the world go by out the window. She's a really easy dog. She has been cat tested, so she can go to a home with a cat. But what we really need right now is just some foster applications to come in for Charlotte so we can interview you, and Southern California based so we can take her to events and things like that. But Charlotte is I'm trying to think how old she is. Do you know off the top of your
I think
head?
she's like
Three,
five,
3 or 5?
3 to 5. Yeah, something like that.
She's beautiful, a white
She's
PB
very sweet.
mix. Yeah, very sweet. So if you could spread the word, if you can't help yourself, we'd appreciate it if you could think of friends, family, neighbors, anyone that could possibly help Charlotte. She is looking for a long-term foster, so we can not be bouncing her around from foster home to foster home. She was in boarding, now she's in a foster home. We really want to keep her in a foster home. It's going to be much more helpful to get her adopted. And like I said, she's done great transitioning from boarding to a foster home. So it should be very easy to move her into a new foster home. So if you could spread the word about Charlotte, we would greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely. And she has had a tough time, finding a foster. And I know a lot of people have dogs who want to foster, but we're just looking for that unicorn person that maybe just has a cat or no other animals and wants to foster her, because she is a really good girl. And it's really hard on them when they've been in a home and then they have to go back to boarding. So, and speaking of boarding, we do have some good news to share. We actually had 2 dogs out of boarding. They've been in boarding for over a year, Gail and Daisy Ann, and they both went to foster this week. And things are going well. So that's awesome. Like Christine said, it's hard for them to be in boarding. It's hard for them to get a home. It's a lot harder for us to get to know them. It's hard for them to get to know how it is to be in in a family. That's how what a foster does, and that helps them get adopted so much quicker. We have a few more dogs that we would love to get out. So if you're interested in fostering, Charlotte is the is the priority, but we have some other ones too. So you can go to thelittlereddog.org/foster and check out information there and fill out an application. From your perspective, Christine, what's one thing you want people to know about rescue or just what we do or anything in general?
I think one really important thing is people forgetting how important volunteers are. There's so many different avenues of volunteering that you can do. A lot of people don't have time. You can help fundraise. Sharing our posts on social media is huge. I'm sure you open up your feed, you see a million different dogs needing help. We really need to get our dogs seen, and not to have them get lost in the algorithm, and just get more exposure for them. The fosters do a great job getting their dogs out, getting them walked, but they can't always take them to public places to be seen. So the help from our community is appreciated to help get the dogs networked. Dog walkers is also another big one that we always need. Our fosters work. Not everybody works from home. So some of our fosters who are gone 8 hours a day, these dogs need to get let out. We have people sign up, and then not follow through. So it would be really helpful, and it's critical to have volunteers that show up weekly, to help us out. So we can't do what we do without your help, and it helps the dogs.
Yeah, and just to build on that, there's other ways to foster too. If you can't foster, you can't volunteer to dog walk. We need dogs transported sometimes, from the shelter to the foster home, or from the foster home to the vet.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of other ways. Honestly, and this sounds probably really weird, but we need help fundraising too. And that doesn't mean you have to get out there and just go pitch to people or beg your friends for money. But sometimes it's just putting a fundraiser on your social media channels or emailing a few friends, and getting them involved to maybe fundraise. So these things aren't hard, and some of them don't even take a lot of time, but what it pays back to us and to the dogs, it is huge. So I just think that's something that people really should know. So All right, Christine, what else do you?
I want to
Yeah,
add on that I don't think I
please.
think a lot of people think that if they don't have a big social media presence, it's not gonna make a dent, and it does make a dent. You know, even seeing a couple eyes on that post, those eyes can share it with other eyes. So it doesn't matter if you have a small account, medium account, big account. The fact that it's on your page and that it's getting promoted is what would really help us.
Definitely. And I always tell people, I say, tell friends, families, coworkers, people you go to church with. I mean, anybody that's out there, neighbors, you know, just tell everybody, because like Christine said, you never know that one person, you know, maybe out of only 3 people you tell, go, wow, Charlotte looks like the dog for me. And maybe, or I can help her, you know, now. So that's really helpful. And we really need to just stand out from other, you know, from other rescues who also need the same kind of help. But I'm not saying if they find a dog that helps another rescue, that's fine too. I mean, we just want all the dogs to be helped, but mostly ours. No, I'm just kidding. Really, we just have a lot of dogs that we would like to get out of boarding, and you know, we've done a really good job because it's been over a year, and I think we had like probably 15 at one point, and so we're down to 3 now, and that's just something we still want to put Charlotte back in boarding and have 4. So, but to Christine's point, lots of volunteer opportunities. Even if you're a student and need like volunteer hours, there's really a lot of ways that for you to get them without having to stand there and you know, at an event or do things like that. So, you know, reach out to us, fill out a volunteer application on our website, thelittlereddog.org, and we can find something for you to do if you really, really want to help.
Yeah.
But I think
and if
your
you don't
point,
know how to do it, we'll
Christine,
teach you.
absolutely. And your point, Christine, earlier was like just about being consistent, right? If you do say you want to help, and we train you and we get you all set up, show up. I mean, it's just, you know, we're investing in you. We want you to help. We want you to be involved, and just, you know, the dogs need you. Okay, transitioning. Okay, one last thing. So one last thing we want people to know. And so you had some ideas about that too, Christine.
One of the things I was thinking about is we have a few dogs that we have listed on our website as, quote, selective. And having a selective dog myself, a lot of people assume
Who was amazing, by the way.
It's taken some time, but we got there. A selective dog does not mean it's an aggressive dog. A selective dog means it needs to be with a specific personality of another dog. My personal dog, she doesn't like high energy dogs. She doesn't like dogs in her face, but she has dog friends that we walk with, that she can sit next to, she can interact with, but she is selective. So she's not that dog that can just have any dog walk up, you know, to her and say hi. When people do approach us, I stop them immediately, and I always tell them she's selective. And sometimes I wish I could choose a different word, because I think people do relate that immediately to an aggressive dog or a mean dog. But just like us humans, we don't get along with every other person. We know what type of people that we can comfortably be with, and it's the same with dogs. So for those of you that may be considering a dog that is listed as selective, we just want you to remember they can be with another dog. It just needs to be the right dog. So, and we will work with you. We never would put a dog into a home that is not going to get along with another dog. We always have the dogs meet, see how their energy is. If any issues come up, we're here to work with you. But again, we don't want people to disregard the dogs that are listed as selective as being not worthy of being in a home with other animals.
Yeah, and just to build on that, so a couple things. One, I personally think the word aggressive is overused when it comes to dogs. You know, I have a Chihuahua, and he barks a lot at other dogs. He's actually really good with dogs, every dog. He's never had a problem with any dog, but he always has to have that initial bark. And so, you know, it's funny when it's like a 10-pound Chihuahua, but if it's a 50-pound or 70-pound pit bull, people, oh, the dog's aggressive. No, he's just barking. Often it's like he's barking because he's excited and wants to meet your dog or meet you, you know? So I think that word is overused, and Christine was right on. It's like, I do not like everybody I meet. So I do not expect my dog to like everybody he or she meets, because it's unfair to them. Why do I hold them to a higher standard than me? That makes no sense to me. The other thing is, like you said, they're selective, but honestly, think about how the dog is with you and your family. I mean, some dogs who are selective just absolutely love you and your family. It's pure joy to be around them, and they'll be as loyal as, anybody you've ever met. So, do you really need to take your dog, to out and, to and fro? Your dog probably just wants to stay home anyway. So,
Yeah.
because a lot of people think they have to take it everywhere. And that's great. That's fine if you want to share that with them. But also just be respectful. Maybe your dog would rather just sit on your couch while you go do something. So, I mean, there's that. And yes, there's times you may have to have your dog around others, but there's ways, if your dog absolutely can't be around another dog, it's okay for them to be in a crate or another room or something if you have dogs coming to your house. So there's ways that you can still have a great dog that loves your family, that is amazing, even if you can't be around other dogs. But, as Christine said, most dogs can. It just takes work. And I'll tell you what, all dogs are work. I don't care if they're perfect or not. Everybody has work. So I guess I just wish that people would know or understand that dogs are not perfect, but neither are people. And so I think that's the thing to keep in mind. And, if you're less tolerant of dogs that maybe need a little extra care, how would you feel if that was being done to you because of, a quirk or a personality thing of yours? So I would just like people to know that.
I think it's easier for people to relate to that situation who haven't had that dog that can go up to any dog. They're used to that energy, and they want to have
Right.
their dog say hi to everybody. But until you've had a dog that can't do that, I think people forget that there needs to be that introduction because they
Yeah.
are so used to their dog being able to just approach anyone.
Yeah. I mean, Christy's heard me say this before. I always call it the Lassie Syndrome. Is people think, their dog should be perfect. So there's like, their dog's going to go find Timmy in the well. It's going to like everybody you like, but protect you when you want to be protected. But you're not going to tell them the difference. They just have to figure that out. Then it's going to mix you a great martini. And then the dog is so confused of what you want out of it. You really need to be the leader. And I think that it's all part of it. And I think that's true. And frankly, I know I like people who have never had a dog before because they're willing to listen. And like Christine said, we will help you. But if you don't listen, if you do the exact opposite of what we tell you, then there's going to be problems. So I think that's
Right.
another thing I want people to know.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's wrap it up. Okay. First thing I do want everybody to check out. You can see Christine's adorable dog on her Instagram, Malibu's Mama, and it's all about Malibu's adventures, and she's a beautiful, beautiful girl. So check her out, and then wrap us up, Christine.
We are currently helping some puppies that you can see on our website, thelittlereddog.org. There are 6 new puppies that are listed. I think they're a cattle dog mix from what we can tell, but we are helping. They were out in the desert. I think they were born under a container. So there's six puppies that we're trying to help place. You can see them on our website. They're going to be they are with a foster. So they don't need a foster. They're going to be looking for adopters. And with any puppy, you have a whirlwind ahead of you. So if you're not ready for that commitment and training, then we have plenty of other adult dogs, but we do have the puppies available on the website, and hopefully we'll be at our next virtual event so you can see their cute little bodies in person.
So you go to our website, thelittlereddog.org, and click on Adopt. You can see all of our dogs, including the puppies there. Our next virtual event will be on April 18th, which is next Saturday. And thank you for tuning in to our first weekly update on our podcast, For the Love of Dog. See you next time.